Hey guys, thanks for joining Beyond Local again. I'm a familiar face, Steve Blackburn, Vice President of Operations here at LSEO. But I've got a new face joining us today. We've got the talented Eric Adamczyk, one of our SEO specialists. Eric, thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
Eric, I'm really glad that you're doing this podcast with me in particular because, as you know, and some of our viewers know, I came to LSEO as the client services manager. So I used to deliver the reports that you and I have spent so much time fine-tuning, creating, and helping our clients measure what matters. Because one of the ethoses to our business and LSEO is that our client's success is our success. So again, I just want to thank you for coming on here and telling our viewers, what the different key performance indicators are for SEO and why they matter. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, what do we use to build our reports?
So what we use for building our reports is Google Data Studio, which is a free template.
All right, cool. So it's a free tool given out by Google. And can you tell me what are the benefits and more importantly, why do we use Google Data Studio? I mean, there's plenty of reporting tools out there.
So obviously we use it for our reporting because it's beneficial because it's a live document for our clients. So we really don't have to update it monthly, bi-weekly, stuff like that. It's a real-time document that, all we have to do is just go in there, check it, make sure everything's going well with our clients' performance. And another benefit of it is we can connect Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and SEMrush to it.
Awesome. One of my favorite pieces to using Data Studio is when we first engage with a client, we can give them this link and they can look at it at any time. They don't have to shoot me an email and say, hey, Steve, how's our campaign doing, or how's our traffic look, etc. So they can just log in anytime. The other reason that I really like it is, one of my favorite things with SEO is the analytical stuff, the nerdy stuff. And I think that it's because, growing up I played sports. Just like you, I know that you're a champion softball player now that now that you had to stop playing the boys game and you can't play baseball any longer. So I kind of look at this like the statistics, when we're looking at batting average, RBIs, home runs, slugging percentage, etc. That's all performance indicators on how an athlete or a baseball player is doing. And what we're going to talk about is the KPIs of how your search campaign's going. So can you tell us, some of the KPIs that businesses should be tracking?
So some of the KPIs that a business should be tracked in would be organic sessions, bounce rates, the revenues and goals, and rankings.
All right, perfect. So I want to touch on those just individually so that we can expand on them, because some of our viewers here aren't going to necessarily know everything about them. So organic sessions or the batting average of your website. Can you tell our viewers, these wonderful people that engage with us every week, can you tell them, what organic sessions is?
Yeah, sure. Organic sessions basically is the total number of users who visit your site organically.
And by organically, you mean when they type in a query into Google rather than, typing in lseo.com, correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, I have to make sure that I'm still up to game on my stuff. You never know. One of these fine people may see me on the street corner and ask a question if I don't have the answer, and they're going to have to call you. So the next one that you mentioned there, I believe, and I don't have the best memory, but I am getting a bit older. So I thought you said bounce rate. Was that correct?
I did say bounce rate.
All right, awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about what bounce rate, not only what bounce rate is, but, where people want to be with that number?
So bounce rate basically happens when a user visits your site and they instantly don't interact with it. So they'll land on say a landing page and then instantly just exit out. You typically want around like 30 to 70%, which would be considered an average bounce rate.
All right, perfect. So essentially what we're trying to do is if somebody, let's say you own a pizza shop, right? And someone Googles best pizza and your place comes up. But they go to a page that's talking about ravioli, they didn't find out about pizza, so they're probably going to leave. So I think the key performance indicator there is, hey, people aren't interacting with my site because they found a query but it led me to somewhere on the site that doesn't give them the information. Would you say that's fair?
That's correct.
All right. So another one that we talked about here was revenue and goals. Now, I don't think we have to really go into what revenue is. It's going to be more for e-commerce websites. It's, hey, you check out, you buy something. If something's $8.99 or, whatever, well, when they check out, we've just driven revenue to their website and we're able to track that. But what I'd like you to do is tell me some of the other goals that customers should be looking at, or not necessarily customers, but someone who has a website. What should they be tracking?
So essentially what a website would want for goals is the number of form fills that are filled out and phone calls. Basically, it's nice to have like those to contact your website, basically being that admin, just to get a little more business drawn up.
Right on. So when we're talking about that might be some of the call to actions that we put on a website. Maybe it's the click here at the top so that we can see how many people are clicking onto your website and how they're calling you. And another one might be going to a contact us page or about us, or if we put a form on someone's website, or if someone has a form on their website that says maybe learn more, things like that. So that's cool, man. The last thing that I thought you said was rankings, and can you expand upon that a little bit further for me?
Yeah, sure. So basically rankings, you want to monitor them at least weekly, bi-weekly, just to get a good idea of the keywords that are performing well or not performing well. It's good to have track your rankings because you want to make adjustments for your SEO for that certain web page to make your rankings appear more visibly.
All right, so this is kind of like where you are in the standings. So, it's if we take baseball again, well, maybe not this year because it didn't start on time, but normally everybody's got a chance in April. You know what I mean? We're Yankees fans, so we've been sort of lucky that we have a fighting chance every year. But if you're a fan of, say, the Reds, maybe you don't. But this is the standings basically. So our keywords, if again I'm going to use the pizza example, if you want to rank on best pizza New York City and you're 22nd, then you enter into an SEO engagement. You want to see that go up, but at the same time, you could see yourself go down, and then a good manager or a good SEO account manager or organization is going to make changes based on that. So one of the things then also that we can look at is keywords that were gained and keywords that were lost. Now, losing keywords isn't always a bad thing, because what we often want to check is if we got found on something that's not relevant to our business, well, that's going to go back to that bounce rate we talked about earlier, right?
Yep.
So if I'm getting found on best SEO company, but I have a pizza place, that's not really going to help me with the intent of my business. So we want to make sure that we're watching the standings, and we're getting toward winning the pennant. So we want to make sure that we're getting new keywords that are relevant. The keywords that we're trying to attack are moving in the right direction. So I said it before, we want to measure what matters. Would you consider that, did I sum that up for you?
Yeah, basically.
All right, awesome. So Eric, how long have you been with LSEO?
I've been with LSEO for about 2 years.
All right, great. So I do have another question for you, and I'm going to kind of work backwards because I forgot to ask you about this before. So we do have these custom reports, but some of our clients also do things like link building. So I know that we can connect SEMrush, Google Analytics, Google Search Console. But how can we use this for some of the other services that we have? We have content building, we have technical SEO. And how do you use it? Because I know that when you first cut your teeth here, it was through link building. So how would someone use Data Studio to track their link building?
So you would use another connector, which would be just a simple Google Sheets connector. So that's a obviously third party tool. You want to basically just put whatever your links that you gain throughout that month or couple month process. Then you would connect that Google Sheet that you have with your links into the Google Data Studio report. So it's just a simple like copy paste URL into the connector, and there you have it.
Right on, right on. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to go over that with me. And again, our wonderful viewers that tune in every week. Hi, Mom. So again, what I wanted to talk to here about was just some of the KPIs, because we want to measure what matters. Now, there's hundreds of things that are going to manage or dictate your online success. And to some people, I think what's going to be important are these ones that we touched on. But for other people, it might be things like session duration or pages per session. So I think one of the most important things that you can do in getting into any SEO engagement, we've talked about this on previous sessions of Beyond Local, is ask your client, what are your goals? Because we can go over the KPIs that we just mentioned or the ones that we think are important. But again, it's up to the business owner to kind of lay out to us, what does success look like? Because if it's, hey, I want people to read more of my blog, well, then we might want to talk about the average number of pages per session and start seeing that go up. So, Eric, I want to thank you for coming on today, and I want to thank all of you wonderful people for watching, again, episode 22 of Beyond Local, KPIs for SEO reporting. Eric, thanks so much. Good luck with softball, and we can't wait to have you back on again, brother.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks again. Tune in next week, and Chris Jones will be back to talk about another exciting trend in SEO.